Figure 2.6 in the textbook has these pie charts that show the breakdown of where the energy sources are for the United States and for the world. And you can see those breakdowns and read about them in the textbook. Another source of that information is from the IEA, and so that's linked in the Moodle course. And we can look at the world energy consumption, and here we see that the total amount of energy, which is the top of the curve because it's the sum of the different sources, is increasing since 1990 to present approximately. And we can see the breakdown here, but if we want to see how it compares to those pie charts, we would click on the percent here, and we can see that coal is somewhere around 70 to 75% up to 100, so that would make up about a quarter of the total, and the book figure shows 30%. And the natural gas here in blue, so you can see the color coding down here at the bottom, and the natural gas in blue makes up approximately 20%, and it's 24% of the book. So these are fairly consistent with the figures that are in the book. We can look at individual countries. So up here there's a selection for different countries. I've already selected the United States. And just like in the book, we can see that a few decades ago, coal was close to 25%, but that's decreased over the past decade or so, 5 years to 10 years, it's decreased to maybe 10% of our total. We still rely heavily on oil, and natural gas is increasing because, as we're going to learn throughout the textbook, the introduction of hydraulic fracturing or fracking has made accessible much of the natural gas that used to not be accessible. We've been fairly consistent with nuclear over the past few decades. The US has somewhat of a fear of nuclear energy because of a few accidents that have happened around the world, like 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, and Fukushima. And so that's our breakdown in the United States. We can look at France and compare. They have a heavy reliance on oil as well, but they also have much more nuclear than the United States, essentially replacing their use of coal. And they don't use natural gas quite as much as the United States, but they do use a fair amount. So that's two developed countries. We can also look at Ghana and see that these fairly significant, maybe 5 to 10% of their power is hydropower. They use a lot of biofuels and waste. That's been decreasing over time as their access to oil has increased. And then there's over the past 20 years or so, 10 years or so, natural gas has also become available to those in Ghana.